Hello, welcome to Better Late Than Never Homestead. Today we are going to process our kombucha. So we are going to separate this into 2 jars since it had separated, the scoby had separated itself. And right now I am going to be prepping fruit for the kombucha for the second part of the process. We are going to use strawberries and blueberries. So I think it's very important that you use organic and organic only to stay away from any pesticides, chemicals, anything like that. So you just want to make sure that you're using pure raw stuff. The other thing that we're gonna investigate for the kombucha for this time around, when we use the larger jar here, we're gonna do apples. We will let you know how that goes. You need your aqua water for your kombucha. Boil this water because we will be adding green tea, black tea, and sugar. But first, the sugar will need to dissolve in the boiling water before we add the black tea and the green tea. All right, we are measuring out 1.25 cups of sugar for our kombucha. If you have chunks, that is okay. That means moisture got into your jar or your bag of sugar. You could just break it down. And now that our water is boiling, we will be able to add our sugar in to dissolve into the water before we place our tea bags in. So once your sugar completely dissolves in your water, you'll want to add your tea bags. One thing that I do want to mention, everything that we use is all organic. That means our cane sugar, our green tea bags, as well as our black tea bags. You're going to want to let this soak for, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, however dark you want your tea to be. All right, now we're going to unscrew this, take off the cheesecloth. And we are going to gently pour it into a new container so we can add our fruits in to flavor our kombucha. You don't want to drain it all completely. You want to be able to leave probably about 3/4 of an inch of liquid in it for the new batch. Okay, so about right here is good. And then when you fill it up with the new batch, you're able to split the scoby and make another batch of it. I like to use these pitchers to do our kombucha in because it's really nice to go ahead and just turn this on to fill up the rest of this jar. So as this is filling up, you just want to make sure that you leave a little space because this is the second part of the fermenting process. That way you can add your desired flavors in. And today we're going to be doing sliced strawberries and blueberries. So what I take with these blueberries, sometimes the skin can be tough on the outside. I will mash some so the yeast and and the fermenting process can get to the sugars to change the flavor of the kombucha. Today we are going to be experimenting ginger and apple kombucha. So we shredded ginger here, which is off of the plate, and chopped up apples and our fermented kombucha. So as we fill this, once it's filled to the top, we're gonna cap it and we're gonna let it sit in the cabinet for 3 weeks. That is our personal suggestion time. The least you would want to keep this in would be 1 week. Maximum 3 weeks. That just gives us the best and most flavorful part of the kombucha with the ginger and the apples. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep a bottle of plain kombucha. So we're just gonna fill this bottle up. And then we are going to store it. You could store it for 3 weeks if you want to, just to build up carbonation. If you don't like the carbonation, then you can go ahead and just set it in the fridge and it's ready to drink. All right, so we have drained out our kombucha and put them into individual bottles. But if you can see here, I have an extra layer of scoby. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to separate this. You want to make sure that your hands are cleaned, washed, and dried before you separate it so you don't have any bacteria on your hands. So I actually have 2 different layers of scobies here on the bottom. And I'm going to separate it and put it into a new jar. You want to make sure that you have about a quarter of your jar filled with the kombucha here as a starter. Then you're going to be adding some already made tea, your sugar, your green tea, and your black tea. And I am going to add about half of it in there. Please stop the video. Take 2. Let's see if I don't spill this one. We're gonna fill up another one that already currently has a scoby in it. So slow we go. And we're going to fill it up halfway with this mixture. And then we're gonna add the quarter way up with filtered water from our Berkey. Then when you're done, you want to put a cheesecloth so that way it can have airflow, and we just wrap it around with the rubber band. And then you set it in a dark, cool place for 3 weeks. That is our preferred time. Shalom. Here we go, into the big pitcher. And the rest of the way will be filled with filtered water. And we will top this off the same with cheesecloth and put it in a dark, cool place for 3 weeks, and then start your process over again. And I will leave the instructions in the link below.